I feel like another way that's helping me with this is being open, and that's why I am being open with you right now, is because it's helping me. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you had a wonderful Merry Christmas. We sure did. We spent time with my dad's side of the family and my mom's side of the family for the holidays, and it was just really good to see my family. It was hard, it was difficult, but I did have a wonderful time with my family. And as you see, I curled my hair for the occasion. I rarely do my hair like this. I kind of crimped it, and it took me 3 hours to do, but you know, it was a Christmas holiday. I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and just curl it, do something nice for myself. I did get my nails done a few days ago, which was fun, but you know, doing my hair, just trying to take care of myself and make myself look as presentable as I can be. But today I just wanted to go ahead and be open with you guys about my depression and mental illness. Some people say that depression is a mental illness, and in my case, my depression is a type of chemical imbalance. It's something in the brain where my brain's not working properly, and I'm taking medication as of right now to help kind of with my brain and trying to help my brain rewire my thoughts and preventing the thoughts from coming and just from the depression intensifying. So that's my puppy. But with the medication also comes the therapy. I also have therapies that I am trying to get lined up, as well as counseling and just other sort of treatment plans for my depression. My doctor in the hospital said that medicine is only 20% of the recovery, and the rest of it is the group therapy, the counseling, the psychiatrist, the psychologist, just everyone working together and helping my depression. Like, that is like the main part, you know, and medication is only a very small percent of that. My depression kind of started back in September of this year. It was after Labor Day weekend. I had just filmed a What I Eat in a Day college student video, and after that I just kind of, you know, became really low, very depressed, and just not being happy with myself and not being happy with life in general. But I just kind of ignored those thoughts and just kind of tried pushing through with everything. Trying to get through school, still trying to find a job at the time. That was really stressful, was trying to find a job, trying to keep school going, and just trying to keep, you know, life in the apartment as happy as I could be. September kind of came and went, and then October came, and you know, I turned 23 in October, and you know, the depression kind of was starting to intensify. I didn't really see it as depression until what the doctor said. So, you know, I just was kind of feeling these feelings, kind of having these like negative thoughts, and I didn't really think anything of it. You know, I was still trying to find a job. I finally landed a job in mid-October, so that was a huge relief. But then now finances, you know, were now the big stressor, you know, trying to make up for all the money I had lost not having a job, and then trying to pay for rent and groceries and utilities and paying off credit cards, you know, stuff like that. That became the new stressor. October came and went, and then November came, and November was kind of the month that it really intensified, and I was having extreme like negative thoughts, and you know, I was just becoming extremely depressed to the point where I wasn't eating. I was losing a lot of weight, and then I was just becoming very isolated as well. I wasn't going out with friends. I just wanted to stay in my apartment and be alone, and some nights I would even just cry. I would just cry to myself, like, you know, arguing with myself and arguing with God, like, why am I feeling this way? If you gave me this life, what is my purpose? You know, I was fighting so hard just to, you know, find the purpose in life and trying to find the reason why why I was alive and what was my purpose, because these negative thoughts were telling me that I was worthless, that I, you know, had lived my life and, you know, my time was done, and, you know, just not finding any reason to live anymore. And I was just constantly trying to argue with myself, you know, nope, these thoughts are irrational, they're not real, I just need to keep working, I just need to keep going to school, I just, you know, need to keep smiling and keep moving on. So that's what I was doing, and I was ignoring my emotions, I was ignoring my feelings and my thoughts, and I was ignoring them so bad that one day I had an emotional breakdown out in public. I was rock climbing, and I was climbing this route where it was a very difficult route. It was a 5'9". I usually climb 5'7", 5'8", and a 5'9" was a little bit harder. I was getting really frustrated, and my friends were down below like, okay, do you want to come down and take a break? And I'm like, no, I'm gonna finish it. And I was getting really frustrated. I was kicking the wall. I was kind of hitting myself against the wall, just out of frustration. And I was like 90% up to the top of the route, and I just had a breaking point where I was frustrated with the route, I was frustrated with myself, and I was frustrated with life, that I just started, I broke down. My friends down below couldn't tell that I was crying, but I was literally just holding on to the rocks, and I was just crying, just feeling so defeated and so worthless, and just so emotionally upset and down. And I literally was like jumping to the next rock and falling, and I was becoming bloody because I was falling and hitting my limbs on the wall and stuff. And you know, I came off of that route in tears, all bloody and just a mess, and I literally got down from that route and I just went to the bathroom and I just cried. I had repressed so many emotions that I just broke, you know. I was in the bathroom for like 20 minutes just trying to get myself together, and I was hoping that nobody would come into the bathroom, but I was just crying. And I got myself together and I walked out of the bathroom, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna cope with myself at my apartment the way that sees fit, and that's what I was gonna do. And I walked out of the bathroom and I was making a beeline for the door. I was like, I need to get out of there before anyone sees me. I just need to get to the apartment and I just need to take care of things. And Jessa saw me and like kind of like cut me off like between me and the door, and she just like, I looked at her, she looked at me, she knew something was off, and then I just started crying again, and she hugged me and I hugged her and I just held her, and I was just crying. And then we walked back to like a little studio room that was back by the bathrooms, and we just sat on the floor and I was just crying. She told me, she was like, I think it's time for you to get help. And I was just like nodding my head and crying, nodding my head, crying. You know, it's like, I didn't realize how bad I was until that night where I just broke down crying. Sorry, that's my puppy. And it's like, okay, I really need to talk to someone. I really need to get things off my chest, because repressing these emotions were just becoming so unhealthy, and I was coping in the most unhealthiest of ways, and it just was not good. So I ended up meeting with a psychologist on campus, and it was the first time that I had talked to anybody since moving down there, and you know, not getting involved in campus and just not getting in contact with anybody there. I was literally just going to school and then going to work and then going to the apartment and being alone. So this was like the first time that I had sit down and talked with someone, and I just unloaded on him everything that I've been feeling, but I wasn't feeling any better because I was still repressing. I'm the kind of person that likes to repress. I repress everything. And I just hold it in and I hold it in until I break. That's just who I am. And right now with my case manager and this after hospitalization stuff, we're trying to figure out the best coping mechanisms, the best coping skills that I can use to help relieve my emotions and my repressed feelings and my thoughts and just everything else. But you know, I had unloaded to this psychologist, and you know, I met with him the week before Thanksgiving, and then Thanksgiving came and, you know, he was off, like campus was closed because it was Thanksgiving. So I literally had to wait until the week after Thanksgiving to talk to him. And between the first time we met and the second time we met, I was repressing, I was coping in the unhealthiest of ways, and I was just having emotional breakdowns left and right. Like I was crashing, but I was holding myself together and portraying myself as happy and okay. That's just what I had to do to get by. And then the second time that I met with him, we ended up coming to the conclusion that I had to be hospitalized. And you know, I had come to that point where, you know, these thoughts and emotions have been so out of control for so long that I ended up believing them, and I started to listen to them and to act on them, which was very unhealthy and dangerous. It had come to a point where someone had to step in and take action and take the control away from me, because I was in control of my thoughts, my emotions, and that was taken away from me when I was put into the hospital. I was monitored 24/7. I had groups that I had to go to. I was given medication. I was talking to people left and right. Like I was never left alone in the hospital, which was a good thing. But you know, it's like the control was taken away from me, and I finally, you know, I didn't snap out of it, but it was kind of like a wake-up call, like, hey, Lavinia, you need to realize that you have a problem here and you need to take action into retraining your brain on acting on these emotions and these thoughts. You need to turn away from the thoughts. You need to, you know, think positive or come up with some other sort of coping skill to help you with these emotions, because you have so many intense emotions that you are repressing and you are ignoring, and it is causing you to crash. And I'm like, okay. I agreed to go to therapy. I didn't go to therapy for like the first week and a half in the hospital just because I was not in a good place, and I was just struggling with myself emotionally and spiritually and mentally, that, you know, I was fighting. And you know, I had finally, I guess, snapped out of it and was like, okay, I need to go to groups. I need to, you know, abide by the doctors and listen to them and obey them, you know, like tell them that I'm gonna do what they want me to do, like take the medicine, go to groups, talk to the nurses and staff if you're ever feeling a certain way. And I did do that, and it did make me feel better to the point where I was well enough that I could go home. But you know, coming home has been very hard because I'm kind of going a few steps back in my depression, and I'm starting to repress again and trying to come across as everything is okay, and going to church and coming face to face with people, and they're like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, I'm great. Where deep down inside it's like, no, I am hurting, I am broken, I am crashing, you know, I'm emotionally and mentally withdrawn, you know, like just stuff like that. So I'm trying right now, and I'm not alone in this. I have case managers, I have doctors. We're gonna get together with a therapist, and I'm gonna start groups out, like kind of like an outpatient program where I can meet with staff, doctors, psychiatrists, counselors. I do have a case manager right now that's currently working with me, and everything that I am having to do requires a lot of work, and I do not feel like putting forth the effort into making myself feel better. You know, I'm in like a negative mental state right now, and I'm trying to, you know, listen to my case manager and, you know, listen to the doctors and, you know, it's gonna be a long, hard recovery, but I'm literally just taking it one day at a time, and I'm making sure that my parents are aware of how I'm feeling. I'm messaging my case manager like every single day, you know, how I'm feeling and the thoughts that I'm having and the emotions that I'm feeling. And you know, I'm trying not to repress as much anymore, and dealing with this depression and mental illness, I'm learning about it because I've never had to dealt with anything like this before. And I just feel like, you know, trying to help myself recover and trying to come to better terms with this depression will help me recover faster and more easier, because you know with right now I'm kind of fighting, and I'm just kind of feeling hopeless and helpless and worthless, and you know, like, am I really worth the effort in being recovered? And you know, it's like deep down inside it's like, yes you are, but what I'm feeling right now is like, no you're not. So you know, I'm praying. I have a lot of people praying for me right now. Everyone just working with me right now and helping me start the recovery process of this depression. And you know, I will never be fully recovered from depression. It might be something that I struggle with for the rest of my life, but right now we are trying to work on coping skills, keeping my mind distracted and not as idle. Just staying active and engaged, you know, and not being isolated, and you know, just being surrounded by people who want to live instead of becoming isolated and thinking about not wanting to, you know. So it's a lot that I'm dealing with right now, and I feel like another way that's helping me with this is being open, and that's why I am being open with you right now, is because it's helping me. It is helping me to talk to someone, even though physically you are not in front of me, virtually you are. You're right there, and I'm talking to you, and it's helping me, and it may be helping others too who are struggling with something like this, because I know I'm not alone, and I know I have watched videos out there that are exactly like this, and you know, it's like, yes, that's exactly how I'm feeling. Yes, I know where you are, and yes, I have been coping with it in the most unhealthy ways. You know, it's like having that sense of relationship and connection is a way of healing, because you're helping each other recover and to fight, you know. Don't fake it till you make it, fight until you make it. So that's all I'm going to talk to you guys as of right now. I just wanted to be open with you guys about this mental illness and my depression. I hope you guys found it to be helpful and insightful. Again, if you have any questions, you can comment down below. I will be down in the comments later on to respond and communicate with you guys. So I love you guys super so much. Give this video a like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.